Hey y'all, welcome to the Movie House. You're just in time to hear me talk about... In my original review for Jurassic World Dominion, I gave it a lukewarm recommendation with the caveat that I wanted to reassess it after its director's cut had come out to see if it had made for a better movie knowing that Universal had cut a fair amount out of it. Well, I did see it. Tack on a few years, an animated spin-off, and a brand new 7th installment giving some distance to it, I wanted to re-review the movie with my updated thoughts on it. Cause while I've enjoyed all the Jurassic films to varying degrees, and the extended cut did improve the film, it is still a deeply flawed, overstuffed movie with misplaced thematic priorities that ultimately didn't live up to the promises made in Fallen Kingdom. For those who hadn't seen it, Dominion has us enter the literal Jurassic world following the events of Fallen Kingdom. 4 years later, and they have proliferated across the globe, society seemingly adapting to this paradigm shift. But add to that a double kidnapping and a rising global prehistoric threat of a totally different variety, and you have the cast of both trilogies united to solve this pickle, closing out story threads started 29 years ago. Now, to keep up appearances as one of the few online reviewers who openly enjoys the World Trilogy, there's still stuff I dug here, like its Cretaceous-era prologue and the opening action scene set at a drive-in. The fact that both of these scenes, alongside a handful of other important sequences, were dropped from the theatrical cut makes me question what Universal Pictures was even thinking. Either way, Dominion has some of my favorite visuals of the whole series. Colin Trevorrow knows how to shoot a movie. That's not his problem. It's also undeniably a treat having the original trio of Grant, Sattler, and Malcolm back and sharing screen time together, unlike some other sequel trilogies. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum all seem game, as do the leads of the World Trilogy. Chris Pratt's Owen is still essentially the crocodile hunter if you crossed him with an 80s canon action hero, but you know what's wrong with that? Even if it got a little redonk here with the whole sun's getting real low routine he did on every dinosaur he crossed paths with. By equal measure, though, I'm once again a big fan of mommy thickness Bryce Dallas Howard. Oh, and I like her character's continued growth. That too. Fully realizing the maternal instinct arc that they had set up with the first World film. It's nice seeing how her and Owen's relationship have evolved over these 3 films into a very healthy traditional one. So few movies nowadays promote that. The return of prominent animatronic usage like building a full-scale Giganotosaurus puppet was a welcome return, and it features another great film score by Michael Giacchino, who's been part of this series all the way back to the Lost World video game for the PS1, but has since done a fantastic job not only honoring the classic John Williams themes, but also creating new, instantly recognizable ones specific to this series. But all that talent and effort only goes so far when it's in service to a script that is an absolute mess. I don't mind the sillier elements of this movie. From the word go, I knew this was going to be daffy. The new trilogy had been building towards this craziness, and I was there for it every step of the way. It's not like this entire series hasn't had moments of sanity and logic flying out the window. The first movie alone has magically appearing cliffs for dramatic effect, ninja T-Rexes when the plot dictates, and small children surviving being shocked by an electric fence meant to stop a 7-ton animal. This kind of direct isn't what undermines the movie, it's the plot, which feels like a collection of half-baked ideas, some of them admittedly not bad, but nevertheless, duct taped together like some Shelley-esque monster instead of a cohesive narrative. There are many, many head-scratchers in the plot department, ranging from the large scale, like focusing on resurrected prehistoric locusts causing a potential global famine, but canonically annoying, like retconning Maisie Lockwood's origin, which originally was one of the more interesting bits of the World Trilogy, or the just plain stupid, like characters with guns not using them on attacking dinos because higher-ups mandated no killing. It has the opposite problem that Jurassic Park 3 has, whereas that film was undercooked with massive last-minute script changes that resulted in a complete abandoning of its B-plot and essentially not even having a third act, just ending with a haphazard grace of a Miyazaki film. Dominion suffers from an overabundance of plot, similar to what's befallen the recent Mission Impossibles, Beetlejuice, or Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. There's way too many characters, subplots, and a general just sense of playing things safe. It's wild how few people die in this movie. It really takes the bite, pardon the pun, out of the danger of humans and dinosaurs trying to coexist. And all these characters and plot threads get in the way of the spectacle, i.e., the thing you came here to see. Something JP3 admittedly at least got right with sequences like the aviary attack. Sure, there's more dinosaurs here than in any previous installment, ones that are set up with interesting encounters, but everything is over way too quick to have a lasting impact. They should have focused on like 4 to 5 big sequences to hang the movie on and go from there, similar to the previous films. The Malta sequence, as gonzo as it gets at times, is the only one that really feels fully fleshed out, capturing the craziness I wanted to see throughout this entire film's runtime. Speaking of which, it doesn't help that Dominion is ridiculously long. Yes, those added scenes in the extended cut do really help the movie, but unless you've got Lord or Rings in the title, there are very, very few reasons any blockbuster movie needs to be nearing the 3-hour mark. They really needed a couple more passes to refine this script and make a more focused story. Like, I get the rationale behind the locusts, I mean, for one, it does feel very Michael Crichton-y, but similar to the idiotic Martha scene in Batman v Superman, just cause you have what you think is an interesting idea, it still needs to be executed with skill in order for it to work. In a lot of ways, the Jurassic World trilogy is a mirror to the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The first film is a nostalgic return to the franchise roots, mostly playing it safe. The second film switches things up and pushes the franchise towards something new to mixed reactions, and the third film must close that story while course-correcting certain elements, bringing back story threads left dangling like 5 movies back. The only difference between these two franchise revivals is that the World trilogy holds the original movies with some actual goddamn reverence. Also mirroring Star Wars weirdly is how subsequent animated spin-offs that take place between installments helped flesh out the trilogy and improve the characterization, strengthening an otherwise mediocre movie. The Chaos Theory show does a better job at the concept of dinosaurs in the modern world than the actual movie did. Because the biggest sin I think Dominion commits is it doesn't really feel like a satisfying conclusion. Fallen Kingdom could have just been the end of the series because it ends the same as this one did. The modern world must now deal with the reality of dinosaurs and mankind coexistence. Nothing really changes from that film to this one. What was advertised as the epic conclusion to the Jurassic saga felt more like cinematic wheel spinning. I would love to tell y'all, like I had originally predicted in my first review, that subsequent rewatches of this film would have warmed me up to it more. But I can't lie. Even with the cutscenes restored, its flaws have only become more glaring. And in the end, I gotta face facts. Jurassic World Dominion is a disappointing bit of silver screen schlock. But that's enough for me. I'd like to hear what y'all thought. Like, comment, or subscribe if you feel so inclined. But more importantly, until next time, stay safe out there.